187 pounds, Jericho.
I think they're both pretty weird because you get a bunch of guys that are just basically acting like teenagers. You know, when your job is wrestling or playing music, it's kind of like an eternal child, and especially with me that does both, so I'm really messed up. So yeah, I mean, crazy backstage antics are just being, you know, immature and stupid, which is how you stay sane on the road. Well, I know that the Lights Go Out is the theme for SummerSlam, which is cool. But as far as my song is, like, there's been a couple times when I try to change it, but it's pretty much, I think that Break the Walls Down, the original, is like pretty iconic at this point, so it's evergreen. I know a couple of years ago I wanted to switch it to Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare, and Vince McMahon was like, nope, this is your theme for the rest of time. So I think he's right. I don't know, like, it was cool to have the separate rosters, but I found it kind of limiting as well. You know, only wrestling with, you know, if there's 60 people on the roster and you're only wrestling with 30, I kind of thought we were kind of outsmarting ourselves in a way, because you're just wrestling with the same 30 people, and then they do the trade, and then now you've got these 30 people for a year. So I just kind of felt, you know, if you've got 60 colors, I'd rather paint with all 60 colors, not paint with 30 for 6 months and then 30 for the other 6 months. So I'm glad that there's not the brand extension. I'm also glad there's not 2 world championships anymore. I thought that was really lame. You're the world champion, there's 1. There's not 2. And then one is more promoted than the other, and like sometimes the world championship's opening the pay-per-view, and then the other one is it's like boxing. There's too many championships. So. No, I think that that's kind of the purveying attitude amongst a lot of you know, internet fans, but they're not thinking of the big picture of probably the amount of merchandise that Cena sells, which I think is probably 5-to-1 to the closest competitor. And the people that like to chant Cena sucks, half of them are wearing Cena shirts. And just all the work he's done, I think he's the most, I don't know exactly who would put it, Make-A-Wish, he's the most requested Make-A-Wish guy like ever, more than anybody else. So those are the type of things that you think about more than just having him turn heel. And the funny thing is, if he did turn heel, the people that said he sucked would be cheering him anyways. So sometimes internet fans make me laugh at their immaturity, which is worse than mine, at their lack of knowledge. I'm talking to you. I mean, there's a lot of great performers now, like you said. I think the future of the company is very, very strong because of the amount of, you know, young guys that are in there. And you never know who's going to, you know, step out. I mean, there's a lot of good guys. All the guys that were in the Shield are doing great, and I think Bray Wyatt's doing great. His family is doing really good. So we have a good foundation of young guys, and I'm sure there's going to be guys that 2 years from now you're going to go, that guy was the one who ended up being the next big thing. But that's how it works. Sometimes when you dub the next big thing, it doesn't work as well as somebody that kind of sneaks in the back door and does it organically. Probably did Soundwave with Metallica here in 2013. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And, you know, to go from fan to acquaintance to peers, I guess you'd say, and just to see how they ran their organization, so classy, and you know, it's the biggest band in the world, and see how they do things was really, really cool. I had a great time and had a lot of fun actually hanging out with them too. And you know, once again, it's like pretty cool when I was a kid and wanted to be in a rock band and wanted to be a wrestler, and you know, hanging out with Metallica, and then you know, hanging out with Ric Flair, and they're your friends. You know, it doesn't get any cooler than that. I think at that time, working with anybody was hard to keep a straight face. I mean, Stephanie wasn't bad because there was a real good like division, but you know, working with Austin and Rock, I mean, you'd be out there. We used to do a match and then finish the match and then do like 20 minutes of basic stand-up comedy, just like arguing with each other. And that's when you could really test the waters on if you can make somebody laugh or not. But the one that really got me the worst was there's an American game show legend called Bob Barker. He's like the host of The Price is Right, and he guest hosted Raw one time, and we had a confrontation where I had to go right in his face, and like he's like 90 years old, but he was so funny, he was so good, and I was like, I had to go to face to face, and Barker, I will take you on anytime, any place, anywhere. Just looking at him with that microphone, it's like the long one, like the old school TV game show host, and just having him look at me anytime. And like I remember just like don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. And in my head, I just wanted to laugh and just burst out, but I couldn't, But yeah, Bob Barker almost made me laugh more than anybody else. I'd be a full-time dreamer, if I can quote David St. Hubbins. I mean, just like I said earlier, just something that I always wanted to do. And when I was a kid, I wanted to wrestle for the WWE. I didn't want to wrestle for, WCW or Japan, and all those places were cool, but I wanted to be in the WWE. And I mean, anytime you can do something that was your dream job, it's always cool. Like even coming to Australia, I mean, it's a long trip. It's a lot of travel, a lot of flights, not a lot of downtime. But if you would have told me 20 years ago that someday I'd be headlining arenas in Australia with the WWE, I would have been like, oh, please, when? So you can never complain about getting what you wish for, because it's really not too bad. I mean, a 17-hour plane ride is long, but it's not that bad. It could be worse. Those are always interesting questions because it's pretty subjective. You could see a match and it's like, oh, I forgot about that, it was great. And, the one that I always kind of use, the standard stock answer, is Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. And we had a ladder match for the world title, I believe in 2008. I think it was called, I don't know, Unforgiven or No Holds Barred or whatever the hell the damn pay-per-view was called. But that was one of my favorites that I've ever had, because, and not just because of the match itself, the match was great, but just the circumstances leading to it. It was the culmination of like an 8-month-long feud that was originally just supposed to be a one-night thing that ended up organically growing into this amazing storyline that we were fighting each other for the WWE World Championship. So it was just really, really cool to see how this thing grew, and that was the exclamation point, the cherry on top of the sundae, if you will. My video game character, much better win-loss record than me. Yeah, I mean, people think that you just can do that, but you have that really awkward stage where it's like too long to be short, too short to be long, and it's just not looking good. It doesn't look good, and I decided when Bruce Dickinson and James Hetfield cut their hair that if short hair is good enough for them, then I can do that too. So I think short hair is kind of the new long hair anyways. And I look back, like I had some cool hair sometimes, but anytime there was humidity, it was like bad, afro, not cool. So I think the people that are wishing that I had long hair again should look at some of those pictures and see what it was like when it was 100 degrees and humid out. Not cool. Nothing cool looking about it. Paul Stanley. I've been saying it for 6 months, and I had him booked. And the day he was supposed to come in, he canceled the day of. I was so pissed. And then wouldn't return our emails. His people wouldn't return our emails. So maybe I did something to make him angry, in which case Paul Stanley is now my sworn enemy. But if you're not my sworn enemy, then please come on my podcast, please.